Welcome back to Invest Today, and today is September 30th, 2024, and there's a little bit of geopolitical events going on that are causing FUD to the markets. So not just Bitcoin down, but everything's down around 5 or 10% today. Bitcoin mining stocks definitely got hammered today. Nvidia came down a little bit today, technology stocks. But then other things didn't. Okay. Crypto definitely got hit a little hard today. So we're going to jump into what is happening around this world. What event I can see pulling the markets down. We have right here U.S. port strike by 45,000 dock workers is all but certain to begin at midnight. So a U.S. port strike right here, this is a big one because this is going to cause delays to shipping, products. This is going to be a big mess if this goes through, and the markets are not going to react great to this. Okay, so here we go. The union representing U.S. dock workers signaling that 45,000 members will walk off the job at midnight, kicking off a massive strike likely to shut down ports across the East and Gulf coasts. The coming work stoppage threatens to significantly snarl the nation's supply chain, potentially leading to higher prices and delays for households and businesses if it drags on for weeks. That's because the strike by members of the International Longshoremen's Association could use 36 ports, which handle roughly half of the goods shipped into the USA. So that is a bit of a problem, and that would cause more inflation also. So we really don't want that happening. We'll jump into the fear and greed index. Crypto 61, stock market 72. Okay, stock market seems to keep rising in the greed. So there you have it. First one being Bitcoin, Nvidia, and then we'll jump into Ethereum and XRP. Okay, so basically what we see going on, we'll just jump to the one-day chart, and we'll move pretty quickly here, so this video won't take too long. Yesterday we had a gap up, basically for the last 3 days, above the 200 moving average. Okay, so basically all today was gap down below 200 moving average. Okay, so that's not too far below the 200 moving average. It could recede back up today or in the coming days. Just keeping a closer eye on it, but it is now below the 200 moving average. Of course, I made the video yesterday explaining that Bitcoin's bullish above the 200 moving average. Now it's below, so different story. Okay, if it would have held up above the 200 moving average, potentially could have got to $68,000, that next target right there. But since it is below, got to keep our eyes on it, and it could be a little more bearish now. The price could potentially wave down again and come down to this 365 moving average, probably to set another lower high right around, I would say that $56,000 mark. Okay, so that's just what's happening right now. If we go take a closer look on the 4-hour, you can see that the gap up is just getting filled, okay, by the gap down. Go back into the 1-hour here. Okay, so it's essentially the moving averages are coming down on the 1-hour, and essentially it's retesting this 365 moving average. And as you can see here, once it retests that, it usually bounces up from it. Very bearish news makes it fall below the 365, and then it hesitates under it for quite some time once it falls below. Here's the 365. So if you look at the history, that's exactly what happens once it falls below. But sometimes it pulls up through it and continues up. So sometimes it's just a quick reaction. And this is on the 1-hour, so you can't really see too much. If you go to the 1 day here, you can see that we're not even close to the 365, but it could come that way. Okay, now that it's below the 200, staying above the 50 moving average. Okay, now let's take a very close look here. You can see this yellow line, that's the 30-day moving average right here. It has crossed now the 50 moving average every time just about when that happens. So the 30 crossing the 50 under, just about every time that happens. Let's take a close look at what happens. It usually goes bearish. You can see here the 50 the 30 crossing the 50, bearish right here. 50 crossing the 100, and then it goes bearish. Okay, right here, the 50 crossing the 100 right here, and then it goes bearish. So that's just what happened right there, and you can see the 50 tangling around. So now it has crossed, which ends up bullish, because you want the 50-day moving average underneath that 30 moving average. Okay, you want that in a bullish setup. But once it crosses, is what I'm saying, it usually goes bearish there after for a couple of days until it moves upwards. All right, so that's it for the Bitcoin price there. Nothing too much to worry about. It's just coming down from its high right here and retesting that 200 moving average, right? All right, so we're inside the Ethereum price right here. So what do I see? Well, I see it bounced off major support here off this blue line and hasn't made it inside this box in between the green lines, the threshold. So the price is obviously not come below that, and the major support. So inside that box is where you'd want to be accumulating if it had dropped under that. And you can see anywhere in the history inside that box, it moves quite quickly up out of it once it dips in. So it has, the price has tried to get there inside the box, but has bounced off this major support. So right now we're on the 1 week chart here, and it's showing still bearish, because if you look at the Bitcoin price, Bitcoin's 100 moving average has finally crossed over the 200. Okay, it's finally crossed over the 200, which means that Bitcoin is now setting up for a run up. Now, this 100 moving average that has not moved up through the 200 moving average is telling me that the price is either going to stay sideways or move down. So it is quite bearish. We have that 21 trying to move up. That's a good sign, and that's probably because since it hit its bottom over here, it has been pulling this very tough moving average upwards. Okay, so that's on the 1 week there. As far as I see here, inside the 1 week, okay, we're underneath the 50, on top of the 200. So price could just bounce in between here. Okay, in between $2,800 and $2,300. We'll go to the 1 day chart here. As you know, that this line, this dark blue bottom line down here, is the 365. This pink is the 200 and the 100, and the purple is the 50. Yellow is the 30, blue 21. And price has sunk all the way at the bottom of all of those moving averages. So it makes it very bearish, because this is 365 coming back up there to retest and then falling below it again. Okay, so price does remain bearish right now, especially on the 1 day. It could get a little more exciting if this 50 moving average here continues to move up and cross this 365. Okay, especially this 21 moving above, obviously, the 50 right here. Okay, and crossing this would potentially come up to here and then move this 100 back around, so that we can get it to cross this. But that is all days. That's all days in the future, and that just doesn't seem likely to happen right now, especially if you look at the charts in the previous bull run. So this thing did do it like sort of a mini bull run in, just previously from its bear market down here. So if we were to compare it to its bull run in 2021, I know the liquidity is nowhere near, but you can see the moving averages are all the same on the week or on the day. And after the 200 crossed that after the 100 crossed down under the 200 moving average, it was sayonara to Ethereum. And you can see right now all the same things are happening again, especially when that 100 crosses this 365. This price might be pushed down further. Okay, so we got to keep an eye on that. If we look at the 4-hour moving chart, 4-hour chart, and we look at the moving averages inside here, we can see the same thing happening. The 200 sitting underneath the 365, that's bearish, and the 365 does look like it wants to cross eventually. This 100 moving up is a little more bullish, but again, we'll have to wait to see because these are two separated moving averages, and we want that 200 sitting above. So this is Nvidia right here. Okay, as you can see, parabolic move to the upside, parabolic move to the upside, and parabolic move to the upside. So what does that tell you? Well, in most cases, gap up, gap down. This parabolic rise has already gapped down and filled, okay? But this one here has not, okay? So from $96 all the way to $45, $46, that gap has not been filled. All right, a little bit here, once it went parabolic from 77 to 97, gap was filled back to 76, and then bouncing off furthermore. Bullish setup as of right now because making higher lows. Okay, and once it's made its all-time high there, it's still making its it hasn't dropped below. Okay, hasn't dropped below here, came down, bouncing off the 30, came up, and then still bouncing off the 30 now to above the 21. So there's nothing really bearish about Nvidia as of right now that I can see. Like all the moving averages are set up. Go back to the 1 day here. As far as the moving averages are set up, the 365 bullish, 200 bullish, 100 bullish. Obviously, the 50 got underneath, looking like it's trying to get underneath that 100. That could be bearish. And the 21 is flirting with that underneath the 100 moving average. So it is causing a little bit of bearishness right there. But that could just be a squeeze and to break to the upside. Just like here, squeeze, break to the upside. Right, so that's Nvidia. I do think I am bullish on Nvidia. Let's see here. 127 needs to break above there. It should get to 130. And then above 130, there's a bit of a gap up to 136. And then if it breaks over 136, it just will retest that $140 all-time high. And if it breaks over the all-time high, then it should break higher. But it would come up here and then probably lag because these are all resistance marks and they are not supports. Okay, none of this is support up here. So the support is actually where it's sitting on right now. Right there, that's support, $120. We've got support down here, $107. And we've got support at $96. All right, so we're in the XRP chart. So all the XRP community, hello, welcome. I'm happy to do a chart analysis for the XRP community. XRP is a great investment, I believe, one day. But right now, it is definitely hard to say. Okay, it's hard to say. Don't want to get any backlash from this video, but we'll make it as fast as we can here. Just want to put this line out here because this is somewhat of resistance. So, and we need to all see what's going on with the XRP price. Okay, so we got XRP. All right. This line actually can come up a bit more, couldn't it? Okay, there we go, right there. All right, so let's check out what we've got going on with XRP. We're going to go right into the one-day chart here. To the one, sorry, not the one day. We're going to go into the 1 week chart here. Just kind of been playing around in each cycle for XRP. This pink line is the bottom of the cycle. This pink horizontal line, or vertical line, sorry, is the bottom of each cycle, I'd assume. So in the first cycle, right off the bat, most assets in crypto go right off the bat. And this one hit, well, it says here $3, a high of $3.84 US. Okay. And that was in about a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 10 week time span. Okay, so since it hit its bottom here, it came up in 2021 and looking like it wanted to come up and break up to its all-time high. Okay, and failed here. Did not, came short of $2, so $1.96, with $146 billion in volume. Okay, I'm going to go back to the volume here. Okay, 31 billion, 27 billion, 14 billion. So there alone was more volume altogether just on the all-time, just in 2021, where it was looking like it was wanting to push to its all-time high, but didn't. Okay, and that probably had a lot to do with the SEC lawsuit and all that stuff. Okay. So yeah, there's been a lot holding this down, and psychological nature, okay, and the like with the uncertainty, you can see that this coin just shows a lot of nothing burgers, okay, but it does show a lot of potential. But on the technical side, it is very, very it doesn't look good at all, okay, on the technical side. You can see in the bull run, this thing had these several looking different, the moving averages had several looking different sort of waviness to them. That doesn't look healthy, okay? It looks very manipulated. Yeah, so this is on the 1 week, and we'll jump to the 1 day chart here. You can see that it's tried to break over this resistance line here, failed, come up again, failed, come up again, failed, come up again, failed. And then now it's sitting in between, it's been sitting in between this blue, the blue major support I have and the green threshold. It's been sitting between that for almost years, and I'm not sure if I'd call that buying opportunity or just always kind of getting wrecked, because the volatility on XRP does not look like it really wants to break out. Like here, it kind of looked like it was going to break out yesterday, but then again got rejected and came now below it. So now we'll have to see and wait. Now, is that the rejection line that takes it all the way down like the rest of them? Because if you see this rejection line here, I'll just do this one in pink and big so you can see it. Okay, so you see this rejection line here, it took it all the way down 42% in 32 days. And then still got rejected and continued to go lower 47% from up here, 119 days. So is this going to do the exact same thing? I don't know. But if it does, I'm assuming that it's going to stay against the threshold right here. And if it was 100 days or so, it would be a 35% drop from here. And, well, you can see. Okay, you can see. So if it did get rejected here, all I'm saying is that you could prepare for a lower low. Well, not a lower low, a higher low, but 35% down from here. So just prepare. I mean, there's still a good chance that this recedes back up, okay, and continues going higher and breaks out of this major resistant line that it's been in for the entire cycle for XRP. It is coming to a close, okay? That's the good thing. So it came to a close here, broke above it, stayed above, okay? Here, coming to a close in 2 years, okay? So this bit of resistance is going to squeeze down in 2 years. But I mean, that's a lot for an asset, okay? So it could break above this, and then it could follow the major support trend that I have there on the blue line. And that would be great, because then it would be on a upwards trend and not on a downwards trend, which, by the way, this thing has been on for, I would say, since 2018, just about. Sort of on. It has been going on an upwards trend, mind you. This green line to this green line is upwards, but the price has been staying flat, if you know what I mean. It hasn't reached all-time highs. It hasn't made higher highs. It hasn't made it's only made higher lows, which is bullish in a way, but also it is steadily bearish. Okay, it's just steadily bearish until something happens. And with XRP, something could happen and the price could go wild. So it's kind of a hang tight thing. Are you in the buy zone? You are in the buy zone, because in between this blue line and the green line, I would say you're in the buy zone. Would I like to see the price lower here for me to buy? Of course. But since it's in the buy zone, could break out from there, and then you're not going to see these prices again, because what happens, it squeezes. Okay, so here, if you look here, this was a squeeze right here, because the price came down to it, but has not dropped lower than 39 cents. All right, so I hope this video has helped. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.